Ah, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Diego, Kadir, Golden Goal. Very, very yin yang of emotions, I would say. No, after today,
There's no yin, man, just yang. There's no yin.
I
Zero
mean,
yang. Zero.
for, for you, maybe for you,
Well, for you,
Mm,
you feel yin and yang? Are you feeling happy and sad?
I feel happy and sad a little. Yeah, yeah, I feel a little happy and a little sad, man. I gotta be honest.
I want to hear all the sad songs right now. I'm all out of love. I can't live without you. I want to hear them all. Although we've come to the end of the road. Like all of the sad songs, bring them. Now it's the
Together.
time.
Be
It's the
careful
time.
though. Don't be by yourself tonight. I don't want you to do anything crazy.
Now I know what it's like, bro. Now I know how you felt when Colombia said goodbye to the cup. Man,
It was not fun. It was not a fun day. And today I had high hopes. I had high expectations. We got to witness and watch the game together, which was a lot of fun. I loved that. I cannot believe that Norway could pull it off.
yeah, one of these days, brother, we're gonna have a live where you guys where we could react to games together because we talk through the whole games, man. It's so much fun. We just go back and forth the whole time. Yeah, today wasn't fun. Today wasn't fun, and I know that you and everybody knows who's watched the show that you were really against England. So you are double feeling bad,
It,
I guess you could say.
it was one of those games where I didn't understand a bunch of things. I didn't understand how Sorloth could miss such a clear opportunity. It was very similar to the Colombian
Oh,
Campas missing
I'm
that
so pissed
opportunity.
at
I
that.
don't get it. I don't get that at all. Like once again, les pagan, no, comen delicioso, duermen rico, and you can't put the ball in. Come on, guys. I don't get that. I don't get how he has two of the most active, dynamic players in the whole country, and he benches them for most of the game. I don't get
Yeah.
that. Why would you do that?
So tell a little bit of the audience how I kept talking about Bob and Musa. What was I saying the whole time?
You were like, they need to be on. You need this. When they were gonna comment the game, you saw one and you were like, where's the other one? Like they need both, and they both came on, and you immediately felt the change. Like it became so much more dynamic. I just don't understand why you give someone like for the 70 minutes of a game. What for? He's a bencher. He's a bench striker in Atletico for a reason, guys. Come on.
The only thing I can think of would be his size. The coach trying to justify his size and trying to be more defensive minded. But even so, I just don't understand in what world any player has a 2-on-1 and the defender's going towards him and he has Haaland on the other side. All he has to do is pass it to Haaland. You know what I would have done? I would just pass it to Haaland. Like, hey, dude, figure it out. Because he's going to figure it out. How do you try to solve it yourself? You saw my reaction, guys. Oh, man. At that moment, I knew. Have you seen that meme? At that moment, he knew. Dun, dun, dun. He fucked up.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Another thing that was crazy is that goal that was taken away. I There was a lot. The most frustrating. I will be honest here, even though I'm wearing white, I do not like, and I am not a big fan of Real Madrid and Bellingham. He showed up today. I cannot. I want to say something negative, but I can't. He showed up today, and he proved me and a lot of other people wrong. And he just came through. He came through for the country, and he just put on a show.
He's shown up the whole cup. He
And
has.
especially today, like today, he
I'm
was impressive.
well, forget impressive. I'm about to say something that is going to be maybe a little controversial. I'm willing to say maybe in the last 20, 30 years, I can think of another English player who has shown up in the World Cup for England as much as Bellingham has now. You have always had stars. You've always had the Michael Owens. You always had the the Beckhams. And let's be clear, Beckham had an awesome run. He also had a record, I think, for England where he scored in 3 consecutive World Cups. He scored a free kick. So he did great. But Bellingham, every game it seems like when England needs him the most, he scores and he's scoring in different ways and he's putting
Mhm.
England on his back. It's not Kane like where everybody thought. Well, Kane did that in one game, which is great. But Bellingham,
He needs overrated. Yeah, go ahead, continue.
is there any English player you like? Is there one that you can stand a little bit?
I actually love Rice. To me, he's incredible.
Rice?
I
Really?
love Rice. Yeah,
What kind of
I love
rice?
Rice. I I love Rice and I love Rashford. I think Rashford's incredible as well. I don't know why he's on the bench. I love them both.
Rashford? Is it because maybe he plays at Barca that you like him?
No, I liked him before. I liked him
Okay.
before. I liked him, but yeah, way before I thought. I think he's a very when you give him the right. I think he's one of those players that needs the ball. He needs space, and he needs for the coach to be like, "Go do what you know how to do," and he does it well. But I don't think people. I don't think his coaches have trusted him because he. It takes a little bit for him to get going. A little bit of time is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have the consistency of a player that's always from the beginning doing things right. It takes him a little bit of time, but I think it's great.
Interestingly enough, Rashford was nowhere to be seen today.
Not today.
And I have to tell you that I was a little taken back by the starting 11. I It's so interesting to me how Madueke continues to start over Saka in the
Mhm.
national team, even though he is the bench of Saka at Arsenal. That to
Arsenal,
me
yeah.
is yeah. So I think it hurts more because Norway had it, and everybody who's a soccer fan can not necessarily buy the whole push, understanding all the movement that goes in every single corner kick and how every single player they hold and grab each other and push each other. It almost reminded me a little bit of the Shaq days where Shaq would barely touch somebody and it would be like a huge foul, but they would slap him, scratch him, and it was like, no, well, he's big, or it didn't seem that way. I honestly thought that the Anderson, the English player, did a great job at exaggerating the play and falling how he was supposed to. I think that's such a normal push that you see every single game and by
It
20
was
players,
complete
20
BS.
times.
Complete BS. That should not have gotten called at all. At all. It was one of those I don't understand. Out of the
Oh,
game at all. Like that one, please make it make sense because it does not.
you're telling your team it's done. You're telling the nation is over. The only player who can who doesn't need to touch the ball except for one time,
Yep.
you take him out. You take that play, you take that miracle belief. All the players they need to do, let's just get it to Holland. Figure out a way to get it to Holland. We have 15 minutes to get it to Holland. And you take that play away.
Yeah. I don't get it.
There were so many moments in this game. I have to blame it, but this is not necessarily against one team or the other. They both had to deal with the awful Miami Heat.
That's
Awful
true.
Miami
That's
Heat.
true. The heat, the
I,
humidity, that state. Yeah, I agree with that.
I
That
lived in
affects them
Miami.
both, though. That affects them both.
That's what I said. It's not on, but they had to. So it had to affect Holland. I lived in Miami, and I know what it's like to play in Miami, and it doesn't matter. It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
awful.
I bet that sucked for both of them. But you
Which
know
is
what?
which is interesting that they make that game at that time, and they make all the Argentina games at night. Ching ching
Well,
ching. Let's
well,
get your full hats on. All the
well.
Argentina games
But
at
no,
night.
do you understand the
Nice and
time? The
cool
time. You
for
understand
Messi to be able to.
they're not doing it because of that. They're doing it because of the time difference in England and Norway, so that people don't have to be up in the middle of the night watching the game. They do it for the audience.
Sure, sure. Okay. You were telling me something that I had no idea about. They said they're gonna protest this game. What are you talking about? I haven't heard anything about that.
That's what I saw. I saw after the Argentina game. There was something online in the news that was saying that during one of the plays, the ball went and hit a foreign object that was not part of the game that resulted in one of the goals. So Norway had an opportunity to sort of protest against it, and maybe the game had to like be replayed. And I was like, first of all, I don't remember that play, and I would have plotted. And second of all, if they were going to do that, when would they play that game? The only date would be Monday, but that would be incredibly crazy.
You would have to change everything to make it fair.
Yeah,
Everything. You
I
can't
don't
play
think
it
it's
on
going to
Monday.
happen.
You can't play it in 2 days.
Yeah, I
In
don't think it's going to
Miami,
happen.
ridiculous.
And they
No,
would also have to, whoever wins plays Wednesday, would play Wednesday, which is 1 day of rest. Yeah,
no,
it's not going to happen.
that ship sailed. And it's sad because Norway had England against the wall. There was a stat that you and I were discussing when we were watching the game. We couldn't believe how many more shots Norway had and then how many more shots on goal they had
I think it was
right
like
at the
10-4
beginning.
at one point.
Right
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
begin no, at the end of the game, at the end of
At
the
the end,
regular time.
at the end of the game, it was a little bit more even. Remember when
Towards
England
the
would
end, towards the
start?
end.
Yeah,
But
towards the end. Yeah,
England started to really ball at the beginning of injury time. Of not injury time, but the an extra 30 minutes, extra time.
the very beginning of the game. Remember, we made a comment too. We were a little bit afraid because Norway was sitting a little bit too far back, and we were
Yeah,
like, "Whoa, that they're letting you, they're giving the ball to England. They're sitting a little bit
yeah,
too far back." And then suddenly they woke up and they got going. But then England waited, or they didn't wait. They didn't do anything until the very end of the game, which is
yeah. And their moments were great. They had some balls that hit the post. They had that goal that should have been a goal. That guy just jumped out. Come on. He did a great job. He did a great job jumping back.
yeah.
He did such a great job. He knew, he's like, okay, I'm going to jump back. Holland is going to push me just a little bit. Just give me enough of a. And you know what's crazy about that play? That had nothing to do with the goal.
No,
That guy being pushed, he was not close enough to the ball where he could have influenced the play in any way. The all the plays going on here, this guy's over here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree. It sucks. It's
Uh,
sad, but it's now history, and we have to accept it. You know,
yeah. So
I
today
I
I feel
do I do think that, and we're gonna get to the next game in a second, but I do think it's gonna make. I think we're about to witness two finals go on before that last game. You know what I mean? I think these two games that are gonna be the semifinals are two finals on their own.
but it's the same four, man. I gotta tell you, I'm a little bummed. I wanted to see Norway in there. I wanted to see something different. Same four.
Yeah,
Was it the
yeah.
same four as last World Cup? I'm trying to remember.
I
I don't remember. No,
don't
I
think
think
so. No,
uh,
I don't think so because
Morocco.
England definitely did not make the semifinals last time. I think they
Okay.
got to the quarterfinals, so it wasn't them. Obviously, France was there. I don't know that Spain was there either. Spain didn't do very good last time.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I believe it was Croatia. I think it was Croatia, Morocco, France, and Argentina. I believe, if
Yeah.
my memory serves me right. But
Well,
you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I do have faith that the English will not make it all the way to the final. So
is this how you felt after the Colombia? No, you felt different because you didn't even do the show after the Colombia game. So
man, that was rough. That was a rough day.
I get it. I get it. I get it. It's rough for me right now. Like I said, a part of me died. Nah,
You're like,
the World Cup, and a part for me ended today almost. I'm a huge football fan and great,
so
but
let
I
me ask you a
was,
question
yeah.
before we move on to the next game.
Let me have my
Since
orange juice. Dale.
you wanted to see new blood, you wanted to see something different.
Yeah,
Are you sort of leaning or pulling towards any of the final four at all, or are you just gonna watch because you like the sport?
it's a great question. I think that FIFA missed an opportunity here. I think FIFA, it almost makes me be anti-conspiracy theory because FIFA had such an opportunity. There is nothing to gain for FIFA if you think about it. If Messi wins again, he's gonna retire next year. He already won.
Maybe
FIFA, I don't think FIFA. What's FIFA to gain? But FIFA had more to gain. If Mbappe wins, if Yamal wins,
they still
ojo,
might. They still
ojo,
might.
maybe even Bellingham, and especially if Haaland, because Haaland is lovable.
Yeah.
Haaland is lovable. He is the next phase of football in the world.
I think so.
So it was
I think
it
so.
was in their best. But you know what? I think Norway's going to come back stronger.
Wait,
Those,
are you saying that you would have preferred FIFA put their hands and pull some strings to make that happen
of
instead of
course
just
not.
letting it unfold?
Of course not. I'm just hypothetically talking about how there's all these conspiracy theories about against FIFA fixing things. And if I am thinking in that bubble, if I'm putting that hat on, I would think that it would have been in their best interest then for Haaland to have gone further
Hmm.
because that's their next star. You want the Yamals, you want the Bellinghams, you want new blood. At this point, Messi is he's already giving you everything he's going to give you. He's done.
That's that's true.
So that's it.
You know, it's. I think it's. I don't think FIFA's helping him in particular. I do think, like I said in our show before, I think they come out to prove something every game. But I agree with you. You still have Mbappe, and I do think at the end of the day, you know, when we're doing this show 15, 20 years from now, when Mbappe's getting to retire, his numbers in the World Cup are going to surpass Messi.
Everything,
So
everybody,
he's
everything.
gonna be crazy unless something drastic out of the
You
ordinary
think at
happens.
some
So
point Mbappe, you think at some point Mbappe is they're gonna start giving him penalties, and you're gonna like, they already are. You think at some point they're just gonna start giving France
tell me what team he
the
tell me what
easiest
team
opponents?
what
None,
club
none
does
in
he
the
play
top
for?
15. None in the
What
top 15.
what club does he play for, Mbappe? Would you like me to like look up how many penalties they've gotten in the past 2 years since he's been there?
I saw a stat, my brother, that said that the Real Madrid, which you're referring to, that had Bale, that had James, that had Ronaldo, all of their champion cups, they won I don't know how many years, they had just like a few penalties compared to how many Messi and Argentina have had throughout. Now we're gonna start talking about Argentina in a second, right? But
Yeah,
all
yeah.
I want to say at the end is it's bittersweet because Norway had it. I felt that like they played better, although maybe not in injury time, but they
Majority of the
played
game.
better.
Yeah.
The majority of the game, they had it, they deserved it. So it's just one of those things. And I think that if anybody, most people would have thought that Norway would have played England like this in a quarterfinal game maybe a couple months ago, they would have thought it was that they were smoking something. Nobody saw, nobody thought ever that Norway would have dominated and almost deserved to win against England in a quarterfinal game in the World Cup. That would have been like, please, you're smoking crack. So good for them. They're gonna grow from this. They're gonna be good in a few
So I
years.
hope so. I think so. I hope so. And I hope they come back better and stronger. And I hope they, you know, next time something like this happens, they are not afraid to just take England and, you know, send them home.
Yeah. All right. So now we're
And
gonna go to the Argentina game. Do you have something to say before we go move on to Argentina?
I just want to know if you think there was any help,
Okay.
any
Great question.
controversy.
Great question. My answer is no.
Okay.
None. None.
Okay. Okay.
Sucks that there's always a controversy. In this case, it wasn't so much of a controversy of of any help that Argentina got. It was just a stupid play. It came at the worst time. But when Switzerland was dominated. Before we get into the game, there's something I wanted to ask you in the last episode, and I didn't get a chance to ask you. I want
Shoot.
you to give me a straight answer. Should the Egypt goal have counted? The second one that went all the way back to the bar. Be specific, just that play. We talked about how at the end of the day, Egypt dropped the ball, Argentina came back, and
Mhm.
there was no controversy there. But we forgot to go in depth of the actual goal that Egypt was complaining about. For you,
Here,
is that a goal? Should have.
I'll give you a straight answer, but then I will explain. So I think it should have counted. I think it should have counted. I think for me, for the beauty of how I like to enjoy the sport, if there is a play, if there is a situation during the game that happens, that when we go back to the VAR review and, you know, whether someone stepped or pulled the shirt, but during playtime, the ref didn't see it or he saw it and he chose not to call for a foul and it resulted in a goal, it counts. Why are we going back 45 hours to review this play to then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm against the rule. I think the rule is kind of uh, terrible, but it exists, and that's what they applied.
Well,
So,
well, based on what I read and what I saw and many examples of that same rule, the rule specifies that the further the play is from the goal, the harder it needs to be or stand out in order for somebody to justify going back so far. In this case, the play happened in the completely other side of the field.
mhm.
Okay. Number one, it wasn't big enough to have an influence. Number one. And number two, there was no advantage from it because all the Argentine players was set up. There was not a, after Egypt got the ball, there was not a 3-on-2 man advantage of Egypt, nothing. It was
Oh, it was
two
a beautiful
Egyptians,
play. It was a
right?
beautiful play
But
from Egypt.
there was no advantage. So those two factors have uh, have been repeated enough in things that I've watched and videos that I've watched about this that people who are former referees and all these people who know more than you and I know specifically about the rule say that there is no way in hell that goal should have been disallowed.
I don't think so. I think that's why I started by saying I think it should have counted. I agree with that. I agree
You
with
and
that.
I are on the same page with that.
Yeah,
Having said that, Argentina still came back and won, but and that's just it. They should have never been. Egypt could have easily been 3-0. That's
it's true.
crazy.
It would have
That's
been. It would have made.
crazy.
It would have made for a whole different game.
Yeah.
But
How do you come back
the
from three
rule,
zero?
it's hard. The rule is there. They applied it to
That's just
whether
it. The
we
rule is
are.
not there.
The rule is there.
That's
It,
bullshit.
it's the rule is there. The rule specifies, and I'll give it to you because I went online and read about it.
Okay.
So the foul gets committed, right? Egypt gains control of the ball. Now, the rule says that if the opposing team does not touch the ball and it results, meaning Argentina in this case, and it results in a goal, which is what happened, then VAR needs to go and review the play before. And if it is considered a foul, then the goal is invalidated. And it is exactly, and it's written. It's
Yeah,
exactly written like that.
but then there's also that part where the further the play is from the field, the least relevant it is. And in this case, it was just a ticky. It was a normal foul, nothing crazy. In
It
fact, it
wasn't
was almost
crazy
a little
at all.
questionable.
It was.
And it
It
was
wasn't.
so far,
Yeah.
and there
It
was no
wasn't
advantage.
crazy.
Anyway, we're just gonna go in circles. Bottom line, we both agree they
It should have
fucked
counted.
Egypt over on that.
It should have
Terrible,
counted. It
terrible
should
thing.
have counted. Yeah.
However, going back to this game, no controversy here.
Great, great. No controversy is. I was very curious because of that red card. I do think, and this is exactly it. It's a very similar feeling that I got with Storla today, with Campas from Colombia the other day. I'm like, you are an elite professional player playing at the highest levels at the biggest tournaments. I understand the pressure. I understand that it gets heated. I understand that you may not be thinking clearly, but there is 0% chance you don't already understand that you have a yellow card. Why the hell would you fake something nowadays when we have VAR and you know they're going to go back and review it? Before VAR, where you could like fake the ref, sure.
Mano de
Nowadays,
Dios.
exactly. Before the VAR, absolutely. Nowadays, when you absolutely for certain are going to go back to the VAR to review, why the fuck would you cheat like that? Especially in such a bad actor way. Like he was terrible. The guy, like you watch him and he's diving. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why would you do that?
He's not gonna be in any movies
He
anytime
sure
soon.
isn't.
He might be in some novelas though. Some novela directors were like, "Ooh, I like that fall. I like the vueltas, like Neymar,
Do,
the Neymar style
do you
going."
know? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you are,
Yeah,
why would you do? I just don't get it. I don't. That baffled.
yeah, yeah. There's nothing to say. We all saw what happened. He had a yellow card, and he wasn't thinking in the moment, and it came at the worst possible time for Switzerland. They were
Mm-hmm.
dominating Argentina. They had just scored and had the ball still, and it could have gone either way. And it was a great game. It was a game that was conditioned right after that. The game completely changed after that. It became a one-team game, and just Switzerland just holding on to dear life, waiting for what Argentina was to do and to see what they were going to do. And then it just became, let's see how long we until Argentina scores. That's what it
Yeah,
became.
but it became a one-sided thing, and you with against a team like Argentina, you just simply cannot do that because they will find a way to score. You know,
Yeah.
when you have that much time left, they will find a way to score. I said this about Switzerland last time when we were in Southern Colombia. They were a very organized, methodical team. They were very structured. And then when this happened, when they're a player down, it disorganizes that structure a little bit. So now they start to sort of not play as well, and they're tired, and it's almost 120 minutes. So and you're playing against Argentina. It's
So
gonna
I'm conflicted how I feel about Argentina. I'm sure all the fans are super happy, as I would be. My team advanced, and you are happy because if you get far enough, anything can happen. At the same time, every match has been difficult. Every match that Argentina has had after the group stage has faced some kind
crazy.
of adversity. It has
Yep.
not been easy. So I don't know if this tells me that Argentina could easily, it could go the other way and could easily just be defeated, or that their resilience based on what they've learned in the last three matches will make them be stronger as a unit and be able to withstand whatever challenge comes their way.
Here's it's an interesting assessment. I think I agree with you. First of all, I agree with you. I think it's been an uphill battle every step of the way after the group stage ended. Now I don't think they are as efficient, strong, and potent as they were in Qatar. I don't think that even though it's almost the same team. But and I've said this before as well. They have made so many finals back to back to back to back. What they have that no other team has is the experience of having to rough things. And this is just one more of those. Like I said, they come out to fight like they've got something to prove when they don't. It is innate in the Argentinian player, and I think that's something to learn from for other nations and other teams. It's one of those things where like the balls and the heart that they display, very few other teams come close to. And I think that's what carries them through.
Good point. So now we have to look forward to England versus Argentina. What is your prediction?
What a battle. What a battle.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's we feel great about. You see how these teams, the history they have with each other, how they dislike each other.
Yep.
The Argentinians want to kill the English. The English want to kill the Argentinians. So in that way, as soccer fans, we are so happy that we are going to get that kind of battle. I don't know
Exactly.
if we had that so far in the tournament where two teams just completely dislike each other. So it's gonna be wonderful to watch this type of battle.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I do hope that they come fully rested. I want to see a good battle. You know what I mean? I don't want to see one of the two teams like with injured players or somebody like unable to play. Like I want to see them at full force go at each other.
I think they
Uh,
will be. I don't think there's any injury news that we've heard about. So
I
what is
hope
your
so.
prediction? What do you who do you think's gonna take it?
My hope is that Argentina takes it.
Okay.
Now I say that acknowledging also that to me Argentina has had a much harder time physically than England getting to the semifinal. So I think physically they're not going to get there as fresh. The English are, and there's something to say about that. Even the Argentinian coach came out and said it. He's like, some teams travel away more than others. Some teams have rested well, much more than others. And when we're playing at this level, rest is the number one priority after the game. And the teams who don't get to rest as much struggle. And I think Argentina's at that point right now.
That what?
They don't get to they've exerted a lot more than England. They played
Are
longer.
you
They
kidding me? Are you kidding me? They both went into extra time, and one of those did it in Miami at freaking 5 p.m. Come on, advantage Argentina every time. Absolutely,
I don't know. I don't think so.
of
I think no,
course.
because Argentina. This is not Argentina's first game having to go through that. They've had to battle and fight through much longer games than
The
England.
last game was, which is regular time. They beat Egypt in regular time. The Capo Verde one they did, but the one was, and then I guess England. Who did England beat before
I
this?
mean,
Mexico. That was not in
Mexico.
overtime.
That
Not
no,
in
that was not
overtime.
in overtime. And
No.
and I just think they're a little bit more rested, in
Sure.
my opinion. But I also could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. I hope they both get there equally in equal,
Okay.
conditions.
So you
What do you think?
want Argentina to win. Who do you think is going to win?
I'm gonna put my money on Argentina. I'm gonna put my money on Argentina. Yeah, not only because I want them to win, but I think they are a better team.
I think Argentina is going to win. England, what Norway almost did to England and did to England, there is nothing about England right now that has me excited. The first
Yeah,
game they played in the World Cup gave me reason for hope. I'm thinking, oh wow, what a beautiful team. They love the way they played. No, zero. I'm telling you, Norway was sloppy. You could have hurt Norway, and they didn't. It was a freaking bouncer by an awesome goalie. What a bad luck. We're talking about this bounce.
yeah,
Without that bounce, you're going to penalties.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's true.
so no, I think Argentina will pull through. I think it's going to be an ugly
It's
game, and
it's
there's
gonna
going
be
to
a very
be
physical game.
physical game, and there's going to be something that is going to happen, controversial. Okay, it may not necessarily be bad, or may seem as if FIFA is helping Argentina, but it's going to be kind of like today, where you saw something controversial and you saw a man get kicked out. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be ugly, but I think Argentina will pull through.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to pull through in penalties. And I think Dibu Martinez has the opportunity now
Wow.
to
Really?
continue to be the greatest. I know you're going to say goalie, the greatest a-hole goalie in the world. He's so hated because he's trying to be funny. I
I
don't think
don't
he's a
think he
bad
is.
guy.
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's
Well,
funny.
you
I
do
do
think he's
think
an
he's.
a-hole?
I do think I think he has an attitude, but I also think
Yeah.
he's a great goalie, especially when it comes
Uh,
to penalties.
I don't think he's a great goalie. I think he's a good goalie. I think he's a
He
good goalie.
when it comes to penalties. When it
Well,
comes
no,
to
when it's
penalties,
great, absolutely,
he's
absolutely,
great.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think this is his moment. I think we haven't seen him. We haven't seen D will do his thing. So I think this is going to be a penalties shootout, and D was going to come on
Interesting.
top. That's what I think.
Interesting. Interesting.
And in the other game, briefly, who do you think is going to take it? France or
I
Spain?
I wanted to end today's episode with that because I believe that's even more of a final than Argentina versus England.
Yeah,
I think Spain and France, to me, have displayed the best quality football we've seen in this
yeah,
World Cup. So
yeah.
I'm very interested in that game. I do think I do think France has had a much better display, consistent display of football so far, but Spain is the only team that has beaten France twice back to back before this World Cup. So I don't know, man. I'm pulling for Spain. I'm pulling for
Okay.
Spain. I hope they're engaged. I hope they're on, and I hope France comes to battle as well. I think it's going to be a beautiful game. What do you think?
I think that it's going to be unlike the ugly game that we're going to watch with England and in Argentina. This is going to be a pretty game.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be 2-2. And
Interesting.
and I think Marino's going to come off the bench and give when it's almost done, 3-2 Spain. And then I think Spain's going to play Argentina in the final. And I'll tell you what I think is going to happen
Please do.
on the next episode.
Save it. Save it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
you guys let us know what you think. You guys let us know who you think is going to make it through, who you think we're going to see in the finals, and just shoot it out there. Who's going to be the champion of this?
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.